Welcome back, everybody. So this week, close to 500,000 LAUSD students say goodbye to summer vacation and hello to their new teachers as they return to campuses across our communities. These kids have faced a ton of obstacles, though, since the pandemic, and schools have done their best to get them through. Here to talk more about that is LAUSD Superintendent Alberto Carvalho. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Great to be with you.
Good to be with you. So, as this time of year approaches, how do you feel? What goes through your mind? Because there's nothing like that back-to-school buzz.
It's my favorite time of the year. It's the first day of school and then graduation. You know, a real immense celebration, immense joy. But, you know, before that, incredible preparation. So I'm very indebted to our school board, to every one of our teachers, our principals, our support staff. And why not be excited? Look, we started this school year fully staffed. Every single teacher vacancy has been filled. 99% of our employees are under contract with very solid compensation increases in healthcare benefits. We anticipated this as being a potential challenge, and I'm grateful to the union leaders that joined hands with our workforce and administration and the board. We were able to negotiate something that, quite frankly, addresses the cost of living and the issue of housing in our community. But, you know, there are concerns. You know, attendance last year was really poor. We were still reeling from the impact of the pandemic. This year, we started out at 91%. Last year, we ended around 89%. Yesterday's attendance is at 93%. We want to boost it to at least 95%.
Because that's like the big question, especially as kids are returning back to school, is keeping kids on these campuses and keeping not only kids engaged, but the families engaged as well. I mean, I know there was some reporting that came out from the LA Times that said, you know, during the 2021 to 2022 school year, LAUSD suffered from a 40% chronic absentee issue. So everybody comes on the first day, but that's not the challenge, as you know. It's keeping those folks engaged. So what is the plan that's going to be in place to deal with that?
So we developed this new initiative, I Attend, last year. This year, we launched I Attend 2.0. We actually spent time knocking on doors, 9,000 doors, speaking with parents and students to understand the root cause of their absenteeism. Yes, chronic absenteeism was an all-time high last year. We decreased chronic absenteeism by 10%, but that's not enough. We cannot teach the absent child. We need them in school. That is why our efforts in understanding the challenges, and look, the challenges are varied. There are some older kids caring for younger kids while the parents go to work. There are fears about immigration status. They are keeping kids home. There's still some degree of apprehension, you know, specific to misinformation regarding health conditions. Schools are the safest places in our community. Send the kid to school.
Because the average kid that's absent is missing about 10% of instructional time. And when you break that down, that comes out to be a month overall of lost instructional time on campus. And that's a major issue, especially on the heels of students already having, you know, the setbacks that occurred because of the pandemic.
No doubt. Look, your mom was an educator. She will tell you that when you're absent, you miss out on so much, particularly mathematics, which relies on foundational knowledge that then builds upon. So if you miss certain key elements, it's very difficult for you to catch up. The socialization that kids get from schooling. So yes, as a result of the pandemic, kids lost about 6 to 7 years of educational opportunity. I made a commitment, a promise to this community, that in 2 years, we will catch them up and surpass where they were. We are on track to doing that. We need to boost literacy, boost numeracy, mathematics, increase graduation rates, and I see nothing in the horizon that will tell me that that is not achievable. We're going to do it.
And one of the things you're doing to do that, to boost the literacy, to boost the numeracy, to boost the graduation rates, is the implementation of the universal kindergarten program, transitional kindergarten program, rather. So last year, you guys did a pilot. I think it was in about 317 elementary schools throughout the district. This year, it will be available in all the elementary schools across the district. And you're doing it in advance of that 2025 mandate from the state of California.
Absolutely, Melvin. 2 years in advance of the California mandate to have a UTK program in every single elementary school. The reason why we're doing that is, considering the level of poverty and the needs of many of our kids, an early start is critical. Early start in literacy, early start in social and emotional support, early start in providing kids nutrition for free in our schools through a caring, credentialed teacher. That's why in every one of our elementary schools this year, there's a UTK program. We have 15,000 slots. About 9,000 of them are already filled. It is free. So please bring your kids, call us, contact the elementary school closest to you, find yourself a seat for your kid.
Something else this year that is new is the implementation of artificial intelligence by way of a bot that you're calling a student advisor.
Yeah, it's Ed. So Ed for Education, Ed. It could be Eduardo, Edwina, you know, you name it. Speaks different languages and utilizes the access to the data we have on students, you know, reading proficiency, mathematics proficiency, the level of absenteeism, critical issues impacting kids and parents, uses all of that rich data environment, and then provides nudges, reminders to students and parents, calls the parent and says, Johnny was absent 2 days last week. Last year he was absent 20 days. Please contact your child's counselor at the school. Or Johnny is struggling with this reading concept. Please click here, and there's an innovative, creative, and a fun way of boosting his or her understanding of that reading concept or mathematics. Or, you know, we know that Christina is going to graduate high school this year. Here are some options for scholarship application processes or high dosage tutoring. So it is AI generated. It provides nudges, reminders, incentives, rewards.
Is this going to take the place, though, of...
Never.
Because, you know, there's a big conversation right now, especially in Hollywood with the strikes, about AI being a big sticking point by way of eliminating jobs.
Right.
So how do you respond to that? Because some of these things were previously done by humans on school sites.
So it will continue to be done by humans. This is a complementary, supplemental technology that provides support to students and parents, actually redirects them back to the professional in school. Visit your counselor, connect with your tutor. You need to see your school psychologist. Mom, here are scholarship opportunities. It will never replace the caring work of a professional. We are a human contact enterprise. Technologies serve as environmental assistance, not ever as replacements for the caring touch and influence of a teacher or a support staff member.
Finally, big concern, school safety. That's a nationwide conversation. You were appointed to the Homeland Security School, Federal Homeland Security School Safety Board. That was after the LAUSD cyber attack last year on Labor Day.
Right.
So what's happening there, and how are you going to make sure, because you're a part of that national conversation, that students are safe here locally?
Look, number one, I want to be very clear about one thing. It's not just the responsibility of the police officers, the principal, or the teacher to guarantee safe and secure environments for kids. The community itself shares their responsibility. So I urge parents to do two things. Speak with your kids about rights and responsibilities, behavior, acceptable behavior, but also be a voice in the ears of the community, convey information that could help us avoid a critical incident. Secondly, you know, we do have a police department, but that is insufficient. We have psychiatric social workers, we have programs, we have a new LAUSD application, digital application, where parents and students can provide information anonymously if they choose to do so, that would put us in a position of preventing a catastrophic incident. That's on the violence side. Obviously, cybersecurity is a critical issue across the country. We decided not to pay ransom, and my appointment and my visit to the White House recently was really to highlight how well LAUSD navigated that cyber attack, not paying the ransom, being able to stop it, being able to provide vital information to the federal government because of the assets that this bad actor had left behind. Safe schools is a community responsibility. We can all play our role in it.
Especially with school shootings, being concerned for any parent or guardian watching this morning, any classroom teacher, administrator, school site professional, being safe on campus. You know, I mean, so that's like a big push, because I know there's $200 million set aside in protection money. How much of that are you going to get?
Well, you know, we led the effort. I sent a letter to the FCC and federal appropriators requesting federal investments in terms of protections specific to cybersecurity, but also other improvements in schools. And this is the first such investment, $200 million, but we need a lot more. $200 million across the nation. There are 50 states. That gives you an idea how small that investment is, but it's a start, right? We're going to be eligible. We have not received the guidance on how to apply. We're going to be eligible for some degree of investment, but that's insufficient. Probably will take a few months. But look, the state of California invested heavily this year. Our board has been courageous in protective measures specific to physical improvements, investments in psychiatric social workers, psychologists. Prevention is always best applied to schools and to students rather than remediation.
Thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate your time, appreciate your service. Take a short break, everybody. No, we're going to go over to Maria, actually, for a check of our weather.